Hello everybody, hope you're all having a nice day. I've currently been locked up for the past 40 hours and I don't know when I'm getting out. So I decided to make my best man speech from my cell here in Ibiza. Diego, 2 cells down from me, gave me along with his camcorder and the 3-foot tripod that it's standing on now. Don't ask me how he smuggled that in here, but the fact that he's in a wheelchair might go some way to explaining it. Anyway, I've known Ronan for the past 10 or 11 years. We've worked together for most of that time. Firstly in the mill house in Clonee, currently in the Bell. I taught Ronan everything he knows about the bar trade, and in return he taught me everything there is to know about the fine arts of handling and selling stolen goods. He's been a great friend to me over the years. He's the type of lad that would go out of his way to do anything for you. But I have to say, before he met Rosie, he was an absolute disaster with money. But within the short space of time I met Rosie, he learned how to drive, bought a car, learned how to pole dance, bought a house, started a family, settled down. And I think that's something Ronan always wanted. So fair play to you, Rosie. You straightened him out, and I don't think I've ever seen him happier than he is today. Anyway, I couldn't give this speech without mentioning Ronan's part as best man for Kevin Nolan. We'd organised a stag trip to Glasgow, and the afternoon we were due to fly to Glasgow. Ronan rang me about 12 o'clock. We were on our way to the airport. He says, we were due to fly at 9:30, not 2:30. Now, don't ask me how he get 9 and 2 mixed up, but he did. So disaster ensued, but we got our act together. We ended up getting a boat to Liverpool. Ryanair boxed off the 5-star accommodation in McHale's. I think Amy Winehouse and Pete Doherty could have been regular guests in that crackpad. But it turned out to be a smashing weekend. I never thought that the disaster of that stag do could be topped, but here I am now in a cell in Ibiza. And actually Johnny Comey said to me on the plane on the way over that Kev Nolan's stag do was an indication of how his marriage was going to be. It was that disastrous, and he was right. Kevin's marriage broke up within the year. So if this is anything to go by, I think when Ronan and Rosie get back from the honeymoon, Ronan will be in bed one night, Rosie will arrive in with a sledgehammer, do both his kneecaps in like Kathy Bates in that film Misery, and keep him prisoner in his house for the rest of his life. But you'll live happily ever after. You see, I have to say that one of my fondest memories from that stag do in Liverpool was the Saturday evening. We were all up on Matthew Street. We were out drinking all day, topping up from the night before as well. We were all pissed about 6 o'clock in the evening, and for whatever reason Ronan was walking around this bar with a WWF belt draped over his shoulder. So we got approached by these Scouser girls. Sorry lads, why has your friend got that belt on over there? One of the lads turned around and he says, Ronan, he's an Irish pro boxer. He just won a world title fight here last night in Liverpool. So cut across to Ronan, and picture Ronan at the time 2 or 3 stone heavier than he is now. We used to call him Desi Barrel because he looks a bit like Desi Farrell, and he was a barrel. So look at Ronan at the time, 2 or 3 stone heavier, WWF belt draped over his shoulder, Ned Kelly hanging out over his jeans, 2 bottles of Smirnoff Ice slobbering all over himself, and you wouldn't believe it, but the girl swallowed it, and within minutes everybody in the bar was queuing up to have their picture taken with Ronan and get his autograph. It was comical. I'm thinking of all the good times we had together, and there's a few things I couldn't mention obviously, like that night we went back to your man Greg the Builder's house. Remember him, Ron? You hate him. Went back for a house party after the mill house one night, and you took a dump in his fish tank. I couldn't mention that. And also the threesome in 69 Huntsdown Rise. Can you remember that? Oh, I remember it like it was yesterday. Me, you and Reiner. Remember Reiner slid one in? I came around the back, delicately lobbed one in. You were just waiting to pounce in the box. Bang, 3-2, 90th minute. We were after winning the FIFA threesome tournament. I think we bet John, Mark and Baz in the final. Oh, it was savage. We had bragging rights for weeks after that. Sorry. El Puerto Diego. El Puerto Setapato. Sorry, that was some fucking Spanish hard man there. You have to be strong in here. Just told him off there. Can't show any sign of weakness. I have to say though, prison really changes a man. I mean, there's certain things you never take for granted again, like the opening and closing of a door, having a shower, brushing your teeth. But there's certain things you learn in here as well. Take Andy for instance. Andy's learned how to tell the time by just using his index finger and a cup of coffee. Don't ask me how he does that now. He's a big MacGyver fan. And also Mark. Mark's after learning how to rock climb, abseil, kayaking, all these other great adventure sports while he's going out on his day trips with the Garda Civil officers. They love him in here, they do. I think he's just had to go and go-karting there now with them. Let me see. Oh, I have to, of course I have to mention Ronan's part in getting myself and my current girlfriend Joanna together. He was instrumental in that. Thank you for that, pal. I can't wait to get out here now, tell her how much I love her. I'm also going to say to her as well though, how come she never lets me sample the fruits of the forbidden forest? Backdoor burglary. Because to be honest, it's not that sour and you can grow fond of it. Just ask Andy. Andy has a nickname in here now, El Diablo Muchacho Muero, which simply translates into hoop like a hippo's yawn. Any funny stories that happened over the years mostly took place in 69 Hunstown Rise. That was the house I rented with a few friends. Ronan never paid any rent, but he was there as much as any of us. There'd be nights we'd all even be in bed, and Ronan would come back after having a night's work and fancy a party, drive up to the house, see it's in darkness, just let himself in through the sitting room window. So he get up for work the next morning, and there's Ronan in the house with a lot of random people still up drinking, having a party. Alright, Ronan. Oh, how's it going? Come here, just fancy the party last night, so I let myself in the sitting room window. You don't mind, do you? No problem, crack on. Do you want a can of waters? Yeah, grand, have a bottle of cornflakes and go to work. I'll never forget the night actually Ronan and Andy dropped me home from a night's work in the mill house. I went into bed. Two lads went on up to the Leisureplex in Blanchardstown for something to eat. And while they were there, they decided they were going to go back to the house, break in, take the contents of the dining room and kitchen, put them outside, and take everything from outside, put it in the dining room and kitchen. So I got up the next morning, walked in, there's a kennel in the corner, big porcelain dog sitting outside it, a big cast iron bench, all in the dining room, 3 wheelie bins in the kitchen. I think the microwave was up on the television bracket in the corner. Outside then there was the dining room table and chairs, the PlayStation, the television. So you messing bastards. But the cherry on the cake was when we were putting everything back together. Bomber, one of the lads that lived with us at the time, naughty lad, he was taking the microwave off the television stand. As he's taking it down, he's like, ah, Jesus, what's that? Pint of milk poured out the microwave onto his head. Ronan was after leaving a pint of milk in the microwave. Messing bastard. Well, that's Ronan for you. Loves April Fool's Day. Loves pranking people on April Fool's Day. I remember going back about 6 years ago. It just gone 12 o'clock going into April Fool's, the 1st of April. Ronan decides to ring Paddy Marr. He says, Paddy, where are you? I'm in bed. Says, Kevin Nolan's after being in a car accident. He's on his way to Blanchardstown Hospital now. You better get up here. It's not looking good. So Paddy's like, jeez, right, I'm on my way. So Ronan let him sweat for about 10-15 minutes. He rings him back. He says, Paddy, where are you? He says, I'm in a taxi, I'm nearly there now. Paddy was living out on the south side at the time. He says, don't bother. Kevin's gone. Paddy's like, oh my God, what do you mean? Kevin's gone, what do you mean? Yeah, he checked himself out, he just had a cut in his finger. April Fools. That's Ronan for you. Messing bastard. And actually thinking of that story with Paddy there now, it reminds me of one time we were out in a staff party in the mill house. And we ended up back in Mark Quinlan's house in Lucan. Mark Quinlan had the franchise of the restaurant in the mill house at the time. And he went around thinking like he owned the place. Went on like he was a millionaire. He drove a flash Jeep, which he had on finance. Just went around like money was no object to him. So we were back at his house this one night and whatever, and it just ended up being me, Ronan and Paddy sitting around the kitchen table still drinking. And Ronan noticed this box of washing up powder on the counter. He says, lads, have a look at this. This fella goes on like he's loaded and he buys this cheap washing up powder. Unce. U-N-S. Unce it was called. We thought this was absolutely hilarious. We even went as far as making an advert for it. I think it went a bit of something like this. Unce, 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 unce. Right, so I'm going to leave it at that. I hope you have a good day.
Señor, vamos a leerle.
I'm going to have to go now.